Welcome inspiring the logic, I'm Nabid. Death penalty for corrupt ministers in the COVID pandemic, assessment of the Deputy Minister of Law and Human Rights in Indonesia.
Kami tegaskan
Edward Omar Sharif
bahwa
Hiariej, Deputy Minister of Law and Human Rights of Indonesia, assessed that the former Minister of Maritime Affairs and Fisheries, Edhy Prabowo, and former Minister of Social Affairs, Juliari Batubara, deserve to be prosecuted with the death penalty. Because the two former ministers committed corruption during the COVID-19 pandemic. In the context of criminal law enforcement, there is a modification of criminal procedural law. The first is that materially existing criminal cases do not cause significant problems in law enforcement, meaning that materially they do not cause problems, there are no obstacles there. On the contrary, the crimes committed in an era of pandemics like this, it must be interpreted as burdensome, said Edward Omar Sharif Hiariej. Edward Omar Sharif Hiariej also mentioned the corruption crime committed by Edhy Prabowo and Juliari Batubara. He explained, Edhy and Juliari committed corruption during an emergency, namely the COVID-19 pandemic. He considered that the two former ministers deserve to be prosecuted for the death penalty. The two corruption cases that occurred during the pandemic era, for example, we all know, that two former ministers were hit by the KPK at the end of 2020. One was in late November, the other was on December 4. For me, these two former ministers committed acts of corruption. Who later got the by the KPK, for me they deserve to be prosecuted under the provisions of Article 2 Paragraph 2 of the Law on Eradicating Corruption, which amounts to the death penalty, said Edward Omar Sharif Hiariej.